to a brand new kit.
Welcome back. eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode number 102 on this Sunday afternoon, May 26. What are we at? 2024. Sorry, it's been one of those days. In a rush to get to my afternoon duties, a little get together with the family, but had to live stream the latest news, and we have an all iPhone lineup today, which we rarely do. Look, we live stream all mobile technology, all consumer electronics. However, we do tend to stick to, let me turn this down. We do stick to mainly phones, in out of those phones, mainly Android. However, we do not discriminate here. We do cover iPhone, so that's what we're going to do today. How is everybody doing? Before we get into the news, I just wanted to reiterate, if you want the latest tech news, you can go to esimstudios.com. You can also go to techstudios.app. That's our Web 3.0 web application. You can install it. A cool thing about techstudios.app is you can go to techstudios.app, and then it'll ask you, as soon as you open up techstudios.app, it'll ask you, do you want to install this on your home screen? Simply hit yes, and then it installs on your phone just like a regular app, right? It's actually better. It's more safe. It is safer than an app store. And the cool thing is you don't have to update it. I do all that behind the scenes. You can get, check this out. It's really cool. You can get, let me show you what we got there. So we got all your Android news here, right? And then up here in the menu, I break it down. We got Android news, all news general, Apple, PC, other. I got deals on the latest tech gadgets. Our podcast that you're listening to, our YouTube channel that you're watching. If you want to unlock your phone, we got a link to the unlocker.app. Service. If you need service, we got the best deals right here on techstudios.app. How to protect yourself from a SIM swap. Android flash tool. So if you have a Pixel and you want to install the latest beta version, we got it here. Or if you want to flash your device back to stock Android, you can do that here. Search feature, bookmark feature, and then if you want to buy a used phone, we pool all together all used. So if you're looking for a OnePlus 12, let me show you. Now I was just doing that just earlier. I'm thinking about getting a OnePlus 12R. Watch. OnePlus 12R. Enter. Boom. It pulls up. It collects all the OnePlus 12Rs that are for sale online. So you collect everything all in one right here. This is a really good deal right here. So, anyways, let's get into it. Let's see here. So Apple, we've known that. What's going on, man? Appreciate you joining us, Daniel. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you know what? That's one Android manufacturer I have never had. I've never had a Sony phone. There's a few YouTubers here that love Sony, right? I think it was Tech Odyssey. He's a big believer in Sony phones. I've just never used them. I don't know. They've never been available in the carrier. Which in the past I used to get phones, but now I try to buy everything unlocked from the manufacturer. I've just never used them. I know they're coming out with some cool stuff. From what I hear, their cameras are pretty good too. Of course, look, Sony makes all the sensors that are in all of the flagship Android phones, anyways, right? Nothing uses Sony sensors. I think all of them do. All right, the actual lens, the actual device that takes the photo, right? All those are Sony sensors. So it would only be right that their cameras are pretty damn good. But here's the thing: you never see them. Whenever you go to or you look for the best Android phones, or even on YouTube channels like this, or just in general discussions, you never hear anything about Sony photos, or even like the MKBHD blind camera test. I don't even remember. Maybe it was a part of that blind camera test. I don't remember that even popping up, which doesn't really make sense to me, because you would think if they make the sensor, I'm sure they would have some of the better photos, right? Maybe it's their post-processing. Look, I have no idea. It haven't been as great since Sony Ericsson. Damn, that's old. I was gonna say, I think I have had a Sony phone, but it's probably been 10 years, right? Like at the very beginning of Android, maybe. I think I have technically, but probably not within the last 10 years. That's like when remember the BlackBerry, what was it? The touch phone that vibrated when you touched it? The BlackBerry, it had a proprietary software. I can't remember the name, but maybe I'll look into. Look, this phone right. Look at the OnePlus. You see this icon right here on the right that changes when I hover over it. Look at this. It has the 50 megapixel Sony IMX890, which is a good sensor. So all these phones have Sony sensors in them. So maybe I'll look into that here later today. See what's coming out. So let's get into it. So I can't spend too much time here today. I am going to have to probably run here in about 30 minutes. Let's see here. So we got news today. Again, all iPhone news day. So we've known for a while Apple is going to have to. They're behind in the AI race when it comes to models, when it comes to basically anything, right? I'm trying to think of what they're behind in, but just period, right? Everything. As we all know, they are late adopters of newer cutting edge technology. They tend to wait until the technology comes out, and then they're very smart and very strategic with how they move, so they're not quick to jump on stuff, right? That's just their history for whatever reason. And look, I keep on teasing this topic about their future, and I don't know if we'll have time today, but Tim Cook is going to retire here, right? That news came out last week that he's going to retire, I think within the next 1 to 2 years, right? The new CEO, they haven't decided yet, but we think we know who they're going to select, and we'll get into that once we discuss it. Younger, energetic. Well, I say younger, but he's probably in his 50s. More energetic. You know, they're going to have to do something moving forward. They found a phenomenal design language. But how long can you stay on that design, right? So the iPhone 16s are coming out, which we can see that they're going to have to implement some kind of AI on it, right? Just to keep up with their competitors, right? Android nothing's implemented ChatGPT in their phone, in their software. Every Android phone has Google. Google now carries Google Gemini, which I have, their Pro version. And look, I'll use it somewhat, but I don't use it on a daily basis. Like the stuff that I do on a daily basis, it is handy for when I write my articles, summarizing, getting to the point, right? But Apple's, they have to do something. And as we know, their iPhone 16, the Pro Max and the Pro look exactly the same as the last, 5 or 6 years. Nothing different. Now, they may change a couple things here and there, like an action button or this and that, but it's basically the same. The iPhone 16 and 16 Plus look like an iPhone 10, right? So they're going back in design language. So that's one of the reasons why when your head boss, when Tim Cook is very conservative, very buttoned up, very careful with what you say, and very calculated. It's kind of what you get in the company. The new CEO, who we'll get into at a later time, younger, more energetic, as I stated, well, look what's going to happen. I think he's already starting to put some plans into place. I think they're letting him kind of not necessarily call shots, but you can tell we've got tons of leaks in these last month where iPhone 17 Slim, right? That paper thin iPhone that's coming out. The iPhone Flip, right? That's a go. And now we got word just a couple days ago that they're going to do an iPad Flip or Fold and a MacBook Fold, even though it already folds. But you get the idea, right? So moving on to a new CEO, that's when you're going to see the changes. That's when you're going to see the vision start to take off, right? Because that vision is what got them in this position in the first place. Tim Cook basically just holding steady, but very successful, right? But not much innovation coming out of Cupertino, California. So what they're going to do with this iPhone 16, before the new iPhones, before the Slim, before the Flip, they're going to basically their arm is basically, people are holding their feet to the fire. They have to do something. So what's the easiest thing to do when implementing AI is basically put AI search on your phone. Now, we all know Google pays Apple billions upon billions of dollars to be the default search engine on iPhone. The thing that makes the most sense is using Google Gemini, right, on iPhone, because it's already implemented into search. Now, we got a news story this morning that Apple has it signed, sealed, and delivered that they signed a deal with OpenAI to implement ChatGPT into iOS 18 and into the iPhones, or I guess all Apple devices in iOS 18. So why did they go with ChatGPT over Google Gemini? I think part of the reason, we don't know the behind the scenes negotiations, right? These things take months upon months to negotiate. When you negotiate, I'm sure it's worth a ton of money. When you negotiate deals that are millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and even billions of dollars, these things take a while. I think they didn't want to lean too much on Google. We all know they're a competitor of Google, not only in hardware, right, but software. Android software, iOS software competition. Phone-wise, even though the numbers might not say so, but let's face it, they are competition. Google Pixel for iPhone, Android devices with iPhone, it's a competitor. So I don't think they wanted to lean too much on Google. That goes against Apple's game plan. I don't know what the right word is. That goes against Apple's. Apple wants to control everything. They want to have the upper hand on everything. And they want to supply their own, meaning they wanted to do their own CPU. They did it. They wanted to create their own parts. They're slowly starting to manufacture their own parts. Now, obviously, Sony, Samsung are supplying parts for iPhone, right? Memory, stuff like that. But Apple's slowly manufacturing all this stuff on their own, right? So in a few years, Apple should supply almost 100% of the iPhone. The heart and soul of the iPhone is manufactured by Apple. So I think they didn't want to lean too much on Google, right? It's a competitor. I think that's why they went with ChatGPT. Now, I don't know what version of ChatGPT they're going to put on here. I don't know if it's going to be a paid service or if there's going to be a free service and then you pay extra to get the updated model, because base ChatGPT is only good till like 2020, right? So you're missing 4 years of information that it can pull up. So I don't know how they're going to break this down. I would hope. Well, because see, look, you can pay for chat. They just came out with they have ChatGPT 4.0. That's their flagship model. That has a more updated model. Base ChatGPT, 3.5, is not up to date. So now they just came out with ChatGPT or is it 4.0 or Orion, which is a more updated model. But that's the one benefit you get with Google Gemini. It's updated, right? It's updated to today. Now, you've seen with Google Gemini their search issues, right? With weird results. I don't know how much that played into the determining factor, but Google's getting roasted online for some of the Gemini searches. Let's see. Apple has signed a deal with OpenAI to provide chatbot functionality in iOS 18. The iPhone maker is still working on a deal with Apple. Wait, what did they say? The iPhone maker is still working on a deal with Apple? What? You mean Apple is still working on a deal with their iPhone to have Google's Gemini as an option, quote unquote. So maybe for more current event, maybe more up-to-date searches. I don't know if it'll automatically switch to Gemini search results, or if that would be a manual switch in the settings, or if it would be an automatic switch depending on what you're searching for, depending on what you're looking to do. It may default to OpenAI, and then if it does not have that information in its model, it will give you Gemini options. This is yet to be known. Let's see. Bloomberg journalist Mark Gurman. This guy provides a ton of Apple leaks. So he's a really, really, really good trusted source. He's a really, really, really good trusted source, right? So he's the one that put out this leak. Power On newsletter, then Apple. So he came out. So it's basically set in stone. This is a trusted source, rock solid sources. That Apple and OpenAI have reached a deal and signed an agreement for OpenAI to provide chatbot functionality in iOS 18. He added that this deal will be a component, quote-unquote component, of Apple's WWDC developer event in June. So Apple will, Google had, they have their I/O, that's Google's side, but they also have developer conferences where it's not, where it's basically, where it's a conference for all the developers, app makers, to go to, and they release their new Android Studio where you develop apps. Apple does the same thing. I believe they're going to announce this next month, officially announce it next month at Apple's developer conference, right? And it seems, he states, it seems like Apple is not keeping all of its eggs in one basket when it comes to AI. Gurman says the iPhone maker is still working on a deal with Google to offer Gemini as an option, but we shouldn't expect this to be touted next month. So that'll probably be, unless a deal gets struck before Apple's developer conference in June, this probably won't be announced, and they may not make an official announcement, or it could be a simple press release, right? Kind of fly under the radar, even though publications like myself and other YouTubers might announce it, because as much as they lean on Google for certain things, for search, they're not really proud of it, I would say. They're in a battle with Google. It's kind of weird because these big companies use each other in business, but then they'll sue each other on other stuff. It's really weird when you get into this big time business. They'll use other products, but then sue you for other things. So it's kind of a weird relationship, right? So it's a previous leaks hinted that Apple's working on its own Ajax AI model for on-device text analysis, smart replies, and summaries. So it stands to reason that ChatGPT and other OpenAI tech will be used for analyzing longer bodies of text, image generation, and similarity demanding tasks. So it looks like simple replies, right? In iMessage, right? Like the basic of the basic AI stuff Apple can handle. Because look, they're obviously, I think they're the most valuable company in the world. They can throw billions of dollars at and generate their own AI model, right? Which I know they have been doing, but it's nowhere near as powerful, as robust as OpenAI's ChatGPT or Google's Gemini. So that's what it looks like they're going to do, just for the basic of basic tasks and requests and demands. They'll use their own little rinky-dink, which sounds ironic, little rinky-dink AI model. But when it comes to longer, more information-heavy questions, tasks, and information, it'll use ChatGPT, right? Or if you want to select Gemini, it'll use Gemini. Says either way, OpenAI deal should give Apple some breathing room, as it undoubtedly works on its own chatbot, much like previously it offered in Google Maps before launching Apple Maps. So Apple will continue to work on their own in-house AI model in the background, while they use and lean on OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google Gemini for the time being. But maybe on the iPhone 19, maybe on the iPhone 20 here in a few years, they'll drop OpenAI. Trust me, that's what they're going to do. They're going to, at some point down the road, they're going to drop ChatGPT. Whenever that deal is, we don't know how long this signed deal is with OpenAI. Could be 1 year, could be 5 years, right? We don't know. Just like Google's deal with Samsung to supply the Exynos CPUs for their Tensor chips. It was what, like a 5-year deal? I think the last one was. Not saying this is similar, but kind of is, just on a different part of the phone, right? So I guarantee it's not a extensively long, but it's probably 3 to, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't have any facts, but in my opinion, it's probably 3 to 4 years. You don't want anything too long because stuff changes way too fast in the tech world. But you want to revisit the deal, right? You don't want to get stuck in a bad deal. And there's always buyout clauses and this and that. But I guarantee you it's probably a few years where they can revisit what they want to do, right? Do they want to, and it gives them a few years to work on their own. Look, this stuff is incredibly difficult, and whoever is in charge of Apple's AI division, I'm sure they have hired some very skilled individuals. But the very best are at OpenAI. The very best are at Google. That's just a fact of the matter. Look, there's some other ones like, what is it? It's on my nothing phone. Hang on. There's some good ones like Perplexity. Have y'all heard of that? That's a good one. And there's some other decent ones, you know. And look, we reported in the year of 2023, all last year, there was no tech company greater than Apple. Excuse me, Apple. Let me rephrase it this way. Apple purchased more startup AI tech companies in 2023 than any other company in the world. In the year of 2023, Apple purchased more startup AI companies than any other company in the world. So they're investing. It's just this stuff takes time. It's very, very complicated. And you got to have the right people. You got to have the right models. Look at what Meta has done, right? They're actually, I really, really like Meta's AI search engine model, whatever you want to call it. It's actually it's probably one of my favorite. They have the most up-to-date information. You know what? I think I like it more than Google Gemini. However, it's already baked. Google Gemini is already in my phones, so that's why I use Gemini more, just because it's already there. But if you go to meta.ai, that is freaking cool. And you know, I knew there was no way Apple's going to use Meta's AI model, because they're basically button heads over the privacy deal, right? Facebook wants all your details so they can sell to its advertisers, and Apple is saying, no, we don't want our customers' privacy to be given away. So that's why I knew Meta wasn't going to get this deal. It's going to be an iOS 18 feature. Now look at this custom emoji feature. There we go. This will probably be cool, right? So Apple, one thing, like I troll them a lot for good reason too, right? They're obviously very successful, and I do respect what they have done and what they do for the tech industry and tech world. But they get trolled by myself, and amongst others, because of some of the stuff that they do. But one thing they do good is, didn't they start the what is it called, custom emojis or my emoji or something like that? They started that years ago. So now they're going to do an AI model of that. So here's MARQ Gurman again. So he stated that this Apple iOS 18 feature will use generative AI in iOS 18 to create custom emojis based on what you type. So that's cool. iPhone 15 series will likely get most of these new on-device AI features. iPhone 15 or iPhone 16? Look at this. iPhone 15 series will likely get most of these new on-device AI features. When does iOS 18 come out, when the new iPhone is released, or do they release iOS, the new iOS version, before the new iPhone comes out? Meaning, the iPhone 16 is coming out in September. Do they release the iPhone 16 and iOS 18 like on the same day, or are they doing like what Google's doing? I'm unaware. I don't know. I do have a couple iPhones here, but I don't use them. I just use them for case reviews. Let's see. So now I don't know if this is using Apple's generative AI. I think it is, but I'm not sure. So basically, when you want to type an emoji description, you basically type in what kind of emoji you want, and it'll generate it for you. So that's pretty cool. I do like that. See, it says, MARQ Gurman, the Apple insider, says, this means you'll suddenly have an all-new emoji for any occasion, beyond the catalog of options that Apple currently offers the user on the iPhone and other devices. We've previously seen Google offer the Emoji Kitchen feature on Android, allowing users to mash up two emojis to create a new one. But this takes it to a whole new level, right? Let's see what other. So other AI powered. Here are some other AI powered features in Safari and Messages in iOS. It'll summarize the missed notifications, individual messages, web pages, articles, documents, notes, and more. Siri will reportedly get an AI upgrade too, bringing more natural interactions based on Apple's own AI models and a more advanced Siri AI for the Apple Watch. And he claimed that Apple is working on a voice memo transcription AI in the line of Google's audio message transcription feature. Let's see. They're also going to be implementing AI into photo editing, right? So they'll have AI-powered photo editing, which Pixel and Android users have had for a while now. Improved Spotlight in web searches, and reply suggestions for emails and messages. Google, Android users, we've had this for a while now. So it looks like Apple's just now catching up. Is there a new feature that Android does not have? Well, it would be the emoji thing, right? Let's see. Another iOS 18 feature: the ability to change the color of your app icon and freely move it around. Really, y'all. This is what I mean when I troll Apple. This is like kindergarten stuff to Android users. We've been able to do this for years, and iPhone is just now saying, hey, look at what you can do in the iPhone. You can change the color of your app icon and you can move it around freely. Gurman gives the example of making all your finance apps green and all of your media apps blue. Okay. Let's see. So what iPhones will it work for? Because we all know this takes. I got to get out of here soon, but we all do. We'll end with this. We all do know that AI takes a lot of power, a lot of special functions that your CPU and GPU, actually CPU and NPU, got to perform, right? So most of the on-device AI features will be supported by iPhone, iPad, and Mac processors released in the last year or so. So make sure you get this. If you like these new features, if you want to try these features out, you're basically going to have a newer iOS device: iPhone, iPad, MacBook. It says in the last year or so. So that means by the time this comes out, it'll be iOS 18, iPhone 16. So you're basically going to have the iPhone 15 and higher, or you're going to have what are the MacBooks on? I don't even know. Probably the M3 chip or higher, or a newer iPad, right? So this, again, that does suck for people. It basically forces people to upgrade, which I'm sure Apple likes. They plan these things out kind of like that. They'll force you to upgrade to get features. So that's a good thing for Apple because they get more sales, right? So that's why I troll them, because they force you to buy a new phone or spend more money with them. But it is what it is, right? Look, we're not Android users, are not. Unfortunately, we're kind of accustomed to some of those things now. Some of the Android phones, actually, it'll work on some older devices. Maybe it's about the same, right? Because the Galaxy AI features work on not all newer. It works on all newer devices. So that's about right. So maybe I shouldn't troll them too much, because for all the AI stuff, now you can run ChatGPT on, most devices, even a few years old. But to do the more task-intensive on-device tasks, you're going to need a newer phone, just because it uses that much processing power, plus a special NPU, neural processing unit, that's geared towards AI stuff, right? So, and I think that's what the new Nothing Phone 3 is going to have, is the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, which is AI geared. So, it looks like I'm going to have to run. Let's see. Is there anything else? And I will get out of here. We hit on that. Let's see. We got that. Yeah. No, it looks like everything I wanted to hit on today. So I do appreciate everybody joining me on this Sunday afternoon. Sorry, it was kind of a pop-up podcast, but I definitely wanted to go live today just to get this news out here and to connect with you guys. So I really appreciate everybody's support. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That means you will get notified whenever we go live, whenever we post a new video. You will get notified that we're live or we got new content. So yeah, thank you. Happy Memorial Day to you too. I'm gonna send this is a big winner. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. Every Friday on our live stream on this podcast, we do giveaways. Now I did a big one the other just a couple of days ago for our 100th episode. This gentleman here won multiple items. You got a case and the applaud note. So I'll ship that out. It probably won't go out until Tuesday, right? Because I think post offices are closed tomorrow. So, but anyways, I'll get that out to you, brother. No worries. I'll message you here this afternoon here in a little bit. But I want to thank everybody for joining me. And yeah, make sure you join our Friday live streams. We do giveaways every Friday. So have a safe and enjoyable Sunday afternoon and Memorial Day. And if you're driving, please be safe. Yo, those tornadoes are crazy. It's like every day I wake up and there is a new tornado that blew through some town. I know there's a lot of people on the roads this weekend, and there's a lot of nasty storms out there, especially in the Midwest. So everybody, please be careful. Thank you very much. Look, if you get stuck in a storm, you got to pull over or whatever, you're on a delay at the airport, just tune in, hit up the eSIM Studios YouTube channel. I got tons of good content for y'all to watch. Or if you want to listen, hit up your podcast platform, any podcast platform, and simply type eSIM Studios and we'll pop up. And to wrap it up, we're on Apple Podcasts as well, speaking of iPhone. So search eSIM Studios. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Even though it's a holiday, I'm still going to live stream. So we'll hit y'all back to, we'll do another one tomorrow, right around 4, right around this time tomorrow. We'll do another live stream. So peace out. Be safe. Take care, guys.